here with quarterback Joe Flacco. Joe, I just want to start with this. I see you running sprints, throwing some passes, getting some extra work in. Your resume speaks for itself. Like, you don't really have anything to prove. Why do you keep doing what you're doing, and what drives you even at this part in your career?
Well, I don't know if that's true, for what you said, but I've always been driven by just kind of playing my best and wanting to be part of a team and all that. And I still feel like I have the ability to kind of contribute and play my role and do what I do. So it's a blast to come out here. I think you got to remind yourself how fortunate we are to be doing what we're doing, and as long as you do that, you can have a lot of fun and go out there and every day just work.
Being on such a young team, what's the sense of after Sunday's win, just in the locker room? Have you felt that the confidence has oozed its way through the locker room up to this point?
I've been saying it for a while that I think we're a team that's got a lot of momentum behind us, and obviously when you go out there and you don't win week one, that can take a little bit of a beating. But having wins like that and just having guys be able to feel what that feels like in the NFL is definitely special, and it can definitely go a long way.
This week against the Bengals, you didn't play against the Bengals, but they're a team, not a whole lot of turnover. So how much of the film can you review upon from last year and apply to this year?
Well, yeah, I think it just becomes part of the body of the work that you kind of look at and see what they're going to do. Hey, they're the AFC champions from last year. They're a really good football team, so got a tough test ahead of us.
What about the running backs on this team, specifically as receivers, works for this offense? Because you take a look, even at last year's game, Michael Carter led the team with 95 receiving yards. You take a look at what's happened with him and Brees this year, even Ty, feels like that's a real strong suit for them. So how much does that add to an offense in terms of being dynamic?
Listen, I think those guys are really good when you get the ball in their hands. So any way you can do that, obviously you can't, you're not going to be able to turn around and hand the ball off, for the entire game, every game. So the more versatile those guys are and the more easily you can get the ball in their hands, it definitely opens up things for your offense. And I think that, that's what those guys are. Obviously they have a natural feel for some things, but ultimately when you get the ball in their hands, they make guys miss, and that's what you want to do.
Losing and moving on, that makes sense to most people. But when you win, how do you make sure that doesn't creep into your week and really into your study for Cincinnati? And what have you seen from them so far defensively?
Right. Listen, when you lose, there can be a sense of confidence that is lost, so you have to fight against that. But you're definitely not going to have to deal with complacency and things like that where you start to settle in, and that's what happens sometimes when you win. Guys start to feel comfortable. But listen, we're such a young team that has so many we're just so upbeat and always working and always running around and buzzing around that I wouldn't think that we'd fall into that trap. But at the same time, they are young, so it can work both ways. Because they haven't experienced it, and it's not necessarily college where you're going to go play some, random team from some other conference or whatever it may be. You're playing an NFL team every week. You got to be on, it every week, and I think we're ready to do that. But we got to prove it to ourselves. We got to continue to come out here and work, and Sunday will take care of itself as long as we continue to put the work in during the week.
Awesome, Joe. Appreciate the time. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.